So I'm Marcus here, and today we're going to do a training on our cloud-based solution. So this includes our Minox and NovaStar. So as we know, Minox is a cloud publishing platform. So that means you can publish the content remotely. For example, even if your screen is in somewhere else, maybe it's in the streets, as long as it has the internet access, you can just publish the content using the internet. So you can just publish it at home and at your office. So this can bring great convenience to the customer. So let's take a look. So this is an example that Leo yesterday introduced us. So actually, if the engineer wants to change the content, he may have to get to the site. I mean, he has to literally go to the screen and do some changes for this screen. But also here is other example when the screen is like miles high, and if the engineers want to change the content, he has to climb up there. So it's really inconvenient. Yes, it's going to be very hard. So the problem for the original screens operation and management mode is there are too many screens. I mean, you cannot manage them all in one platform. So that is one problem. And another problem is that it's difficult to manage, and also it's hard to focus on the business, and it could have also the security issue, and it's difficult to monitor, and this will cause low efficiency. So these are the problems for the traditional solution. And actually, then you can consider our cloud-based display management system. So this includes our Minox. So actually, it's a smart cluster device, a service. So it could control the screen with a web page. So this means you could control the screen using PC, using your mobile phone, and your pad. So you could like control it using many ways. So that's very convenient. And this is a diagram for our remote cluster control diagram. So this is the user, and this is a platform used for the controlling. And this is our Minox. This is a cloud service. And the terminals could have 3 ways to connect to the internet. So that includes 4G, Wi-Fi, or Ethernet. And then the user can control the screen by our Minox platform, and they could send the content using the internet. So this is remote cluster control. So they could control many torus at one time. And these are some application cases. So as you can see, these screens, they have different ways to connect to the internet, including Ethernet, Wi-Fi, and 4G module. So these are some cases. So how to use Minox step by step? I will show you some demonstration on this computer. So you will get to know every features and every functions and how it works. So the first step is for the register. So I will just go to our website and show you step by step. So the first step is to register for an account. So you just have to go to minox.com, and click sign up. And you just have to select the server. So you could select it based on the location you're at. So if you're in India, you could just select India server. And maybe you're in the other locations, you could select the location based on where you are. So here, we will just select China. So here, let's get to the registration page. So here you could just enter the username and the referral code. Actually, this code you could just get from Leo. And also you can enter the password, and you could also enter the phone, and you will get the code for verification. And then you could get an account. And after you finish the registration process, you could just get back to Minox.com and log in. So I will log in with my own account. So here is the main page of our cloud platform. So if we choose here, we can see Minox Standard, Minox Add, and iCare. And also there's a function for system management. So I will introduce Minox Standard first because you could you can do most of the functions just by Minox Standard. And for Minox Add, it includes some functions as well. And I will introduce them later. So this is a Minox standard, and we could see players, solutions, content, player control, and logs. So this is a player list. So actually, you could just, you have to click. You just have to click here, and you could see player authentication. And here you can see all the information required for your binding process. And then you could just get to our WePlex software and finish the binding. After making sure that the torus has the internet access, you could connect to the WePlex software and you could bind the torus here. And you just have to enter all the information. Yes. And then in the player list, you can see that it's already online. So this will show online 1. So this could turn green. And in this section, you can also rename the media player. And also you can update the firmware just by cloud. And also you can delete the terminal here. So this is a player list. And next, we can go to the solution editing. But for editing the solution, the first step is you just have to update the content that you're going to use. So we could go to content, and we can click add media. And then we can add some pictures or add some videos that you're going to play.
Mr. Leo, your screen is not visible. It's on a PPT mode. Can you check?
Okay, I met some issue and I will look into it.
ये साउंड कैसा आएगा?
उनका साउंड
सिर्फ इंटरलूप के लिए लेके गया था बस, सिर्फ इंटरलूप के लिए आवाज क्यों नहीं आ रही है? हाँ बोलो।
We cannot hear anything.
So you can see Minox Standard, Minox Add, and Nova iCare. So here is a playlist. Here's a player. So actually, the first step is to bind the torus to the Minox platform. So you could just select player authentication here, and you will just get all the information required to do the binding. Here, yeah. And after making sure that the torus is already connected to the internet, you could just log in to our Vplex software, and you just have to select server configuration here, and you just have to enter all those information into this section, and then it should show online on the Minox platform. So we could just get back to Minox Standard and see that is already online. So here it will show 1, and the light here will show green. So this is for the players. And the next step is we just have to edit the content for the player to show. So then we have to upload the media files first. So to do that, we just have to go to content and update the media files that is going to be used. So we just have to click add media. And here you could just add the media files. So for example, some pictures or videos here. And then the next step is you just have to go to solutions, and then we can make a new solution. So we just have to click new, and here we can change the name. And also we have to enter the resolution. That should be equal to the screen resolution. And also we could select the player, and then it will just directly read the resolution that is already been configured. And also you can manually enter the resolution, and then we can click OK. So here is the editing page of the Minox Standard. So here are all the media files that is supported. So that includes text, files, and clocks, and environment monitoring, and weather, calendar, RSS, streaming media, and colorful text, and window. So you could just, let me show you. So we could just add 1 media files from the media section. For example, we select this one. Yes, and I can change the size and the position either by drag the cursor here. And also I can change the size and the position here. So I could make it like this. And I can add another layer. So I just have to click here and add another file. So that means on your screen, they could have multiple content at the same time. So all you have to do is change the size and the position to make sure that is okay. And on the right side, you could also change the playback method. So that means you can change some entrance effect and the duration. So that is for widget properties. And for page properties, you could change the times to play. So actually, one single content, not only one single content can be displayed in one solution. So here is a page. So we could add another page just like this. And we could add another content here. So that means this page will be played first, and next this page will be played. So this page will be played 1 time, and after this page will be played 1 time. And after you have finished the editing, you could just select publish and select the terminal. So not only one terminal can be selected at once. So then it could be updated to the Torus media player. And then the LED screen should show that content. So this is a solution editing for the torus for the Minox standard. And next, we can get to the player control section. Actually, this section is just similar to what we see in the WePlex software. We could change the brightness and the volume and switch the video source, and we could restart the player, and we could make the screen go blackout or normal display. And also we could do the monitoring, and here we could also delete all media files saved inside the torus. And also we could control the power for the LED screen, and that requires a multifunction card. And also we could do the time synchronization and synchronous playback and playback management. So actually all these functions are just similar to what I introduced yesterday. They're all similar to the functions in the WePlex software. So that is for player control. And the next one is logs. So if we move the cursor to logs, we can see there are remote. So for the remote control logs, you could just, in the remote control logs, you can just see the logs for a certain type. So for example, if we select the brightness control here, then we could see the brightness control logs. We can see the brightness has been changed from which value to which value and at which time. So we could get the log in this way. And apart from brightness, we could also get the logs for volume and video source switching and player restart and screen status control, power control, and synchronous playback. So that is for remote control logs. And also we could see the play logs. So actually here you could see what media files is being played under what time. So you can see the play logs here. So you just have to select the player, and you just have to enter the data range. And here it will show the content. It will show the data. If you have any questions, you could just text in our text box, and after the training ends, we'll have a Q&A session to answer all your questions. So that is all for Minox standard. So it's totally free. And if you just have like basic needs for your projects, you could just use Minox standard. And next, I'm going to introduce Minox add, which includes some additional functions. So let's take a look. So here we can just click Minox add, and then you can see the interface here. It's a little different from Minox standard, and I will introduce what it is. So we can see media, playlist, solutions, and players. So actually we could just select media first. So here we're going to make a new solution. So the first step is also update the media files. But so first you have to select media and click add. So we could upload one file, and also we can make a new web page. We could use our RSS, and we could also make a new page. So actually, page is what similar to the content in the Minox standard. I will show you. Yeah, so this is one page, and it's similar to Minox standard. But also, you could add another like content directly. So then it's all the media files that it's going to use. And the next step is we just have to go to playlists. So actually, playlist is just the media files plus the order, I mean the sequence. So for example, if we click on this playlist, then we can see like this. So actually, this means this media file is going to play first, and this will play the second, and this will play the third. So actually, this is the order or the sequence. So this is the meaning for the playlist. So next, we can just go to solutions. And actually, solutions is just a playlist plus a certain schedule. And another cool feature is that different section on your LD screen could have different schedule. So let's check it out. So we could just select this one. So we could just click frame. So here we could add more frames as we want. So now, if you want your LD screen to show two content at the same time, then you can just edit the size and the position here. So here we have two layers. Here is one layer, and here is another layer. And they could have different schedule and different content. They could have different schedule and different content. So to do the scheduling, you just have to go to solution settings, and we just have to click the empty parts here. Yeah, we're now making a solution for the upper part. So we could just click the blank part, and we could add one playlist here, like this. So see, actually this is the schedule, and we could add, make it longer. So that means this part, this content will be played on Thursday and on from 0 a.m. to 3 a.m. So that is one schedule, and we could add another schedule. We just have to click on the empty part and add the playlist. Yeah, so here I'm add another schedule. So that means it will play this content at this time. And also I could click on this part and do the schedule for this frame. So actually it's just the same. I just have to click on the empty part. I just have to click on the empty part and make a schedule. So the important feature is that different parts could have different schedule. So that is a key feature for the Minox ad. And also you could configure an insertion. So actually this will replace the schedule, and it will just play certain content instead. So we could add an insertion here. So we could just click new, and we can just name it and select one playlist here, and then it will just play the file here. It's mainly used for some emergencies, actually. So that's a solution editing for the Minox ad. And actually, this includes, Minox ad includes other cool features. For example, the system management. So you could use the media approval function to check on the media files. And also, there are some other functions as well. So you could make a page template. So usually we could just add the page in the page section, but also you can make a template in advance. And also you can make a frame. So actually this is the frame template. Also we have the players management. So we could check the players, play logs, remote control plan, and time synchronization. So let's check on players first. So this is a players page, and actually this is similar to in the Minox standard. But if we click one player here, then we could see the basic info for this player, and we could add one, we could update the solution here. So we can just select here and click save and get back to the page here, to the playlist. And we could just select update solution here to update the solution. And let's click on the next item. So also you could configure a non-scheduled content. So actually this is for, if there are times that no solutions is being assigned to this transmedia player, then they will play this non-scheduled content instead. And also we could make some We could do some other changes, like we could do the work group. And here, actually, I will introduce a work group function later. And also, we can make a remote control plan. So we could do the restart and make a schedule. So that means the player will restart following a certain schedule. And also, we could change the screen status. I mean, either it's by blackout or normal display. So that is for remote control plan. And also, we could check the status. So actually, here are all the information that we can see. And also, we could check the media download status. So actually, this is just for troubleshooting. So you can see if the player has already downloaded the media files. So this is for troubleshooting. And also, we could see the remote control history to see, for example, we could see the players has restart under which time. And also, we could configure the solution. The position. So then when we get back to the home page, we could see the player's location, but we have to manually configure the position here. So this is for the position. And the next is we can also check the play logs. So actually this here it will also show the content, and under this content is being played under which time. So this is for play logs. And also we could add a remote control plan just for a restart and screen status control. So these are the remote control plans. And also for time synchronization. And actually this is just similar to Minox standard and in VPlex. So you could configure a certain time zone or do the NTP server synchronization. So that is for the time synchronization. To sum it up, actually Minox add it just has more functions because it could you can make a detailed schedule for your media player, and different frames could have different schedule. So that is a big difference between Minox add and Minox standard. If you have more questions for my introduction, you could just text in the text box, and after the training ends, we will have a Q&A session, and I will answer the questions accordingly. So that is a function for Minox add. And next, I'm going to introduce Nova iCare. So different from Minox standard and Minox add, iCare is just a cloud monitoring platform. We could check it out. So the first step is also to bind your media player to our iCare. So the first step is also here and player authentication. So you just have to click here and go to player authentication, and the process is just similar. We could just see the information here, and we just have to go to VPlex software and server configuration, and you just have to enter the information here. And then on the iCare, you can see it's already online. So that is for the binding process. And actually, you could let's take a look at the screen list. So actually, this is a screen, and this is a terminal. So I want to clarify one thing, that not only the asynchronous media player can be binded into the iCare, and also it supports our synchronous systems. So you have to do the binding on the Nova LCT software. So that is a little different. So I will show you. So this is for synchronous systems. So to do the binding for synchronous controller, you just have to, after you log in, you just have to go to cloud monitoring. And here you can see the resolution of your screen And you can see the registration process. And you could just click on the button here, and you just have to enter all the information in the player authentication. And here you can see the screen is online. So that is for synchronous systems. But for asynchronous, it's just in the WebPlex software. So that's the difference. And when you see it's online, and then you could begin to do the configuration. So you could just click on the terminal. And here we could see the information, monitoring, fault and alarm details, brightness, real-time status, individual LED detection, and work groups. So in the screen information, you can make some basic changes. Like you could change the name for identification. And also you could configure the time zone for time synchronization. And also we could make it into one work group. So the work group function, I will introduce that later. And also we could see the screen resolution here and the device type. So M3 actually it means it's a synchronous controller. And for asynchronous, I believe this will show Taurus. And we could also configure the monitoring information. So this means if the screens are having some errors and the system, the iCare will just send you the email, send the alarm email to this email address. And also, maybe you can configure for the text. So you could enter your mobile number here, and the system will just send the alarm information by text. And also we could change the language for email or text, and we could change the cycle and the hour for the alarm information. And also we have this function. We have this SMTP server function. So actually this is for, normally the email is just sent by our account, by our email address. And if you want the email sent from your address, then you just have to configure the SMTP server here. So this is another function. And we could just get back to screen list and get back here. So here we can see another function called the monitoring picture. So actually this is for connecting to the IP camera. We support certain models of the IP cameras. So you could just configure it, and you could see the real-time status of the screen by the camera. So you can just install the camera next to the screen, and you can see how the screen is showing. So this is for the monitoring picture, but only a certain models of cameras are supported, and I could provide you the information later. So that is for monitoring picture. And for fault and alarm details, here we could just configure the threshold. So we could configure maybe the working status, DVI status, Ethernet port redundancy, hardware connection, and for receiving card, we could see system default mechanism. So that's for working status. And for voltage, we could just configure the threshold. So here we could enter a certain voltage to control. I mean, for example, here it says from 3.5 volt to 5.5 volt. So that means if the voltage is under this or higher than this, then it will just send the alarm email or text to you. Then you could see get the alarm. And also we could configure the temperature. So here are all the threshold, I mean, all the alarm that you can monitoring. And actually, this information are just read from the Nova LCT if you're using the synchronous system. So that is for fault and alarm details. And also, we could also change the frequency of the detection. So this is for fault and alarm details. And the next part is about brightness. So actually, we could just configure one brightness adjustment table, and the brightness will change either by setting a schedule or by the light sensor. So we could change the brightness here. Also, we could get the logs. I mean, we could see the brightness has been changed from which value to another value, and we could see the result. And also, you can configure the email for the logs. So this is for brightness. And also, we have the real-time status. So actually, you could just see if the screen is offline or online. So this is for detecting the internet connection for the terminals. Also, we have individual LED detection. So actually, this requires certain hardware. So either you have to use MRE560 and MON300. So MRE560 is the receiving card, and MON300 is a monitoring card. So either you have to use these two together to for this function, for LED detection function. Also, you could also use an A-series receiving card with a smart module. But for the smart module, actually it's just a chip on the module. So for that information, you have to contact the screen manufacturer to check out if the screen contains that smart module function. And actually for LED detection, it will just show how many faulty LEDs are there in the LED screen. So we could just check it in the PowerPoint. So here is one example of the LED detection. So we could see the percentage of the faulty LEDs in this section. So we could get the total numbers of the LEDs, and we could get the total numbers of the faulty LEDs. So this is very useful if you have needs in this. So this is for LED detection. But just make sure that the driver IC of the module also supports LED detection. And so for that information, also you have to contact with the screen manufacturer to see the driver IC. So that is LED detection. So basically, these are the screen list. I mean the information related to one single player. And also we could check the reports. So in this section, you could configure the report, and it will just send following a certain cycle. So you could set it to be like every month, and also you can configure the date and the time, also the email. So that means our system will send you an email every month, and at so yeah, this is one. So that means the first day of this of every month. So you could configure the report. And also we have this custom reports. So actually this is just for when you have many clients and we want to like customize the report for each of your clients. And then you can use this function to send the custom reports. So this is just for customization. And also we have some advanced functions like the tag management to identification of your LED screen. And also we have, we could set some templates, for example, like the threshold, the brightness, and the individual LED detection templates. So actually you could just configure a threshold, brightness, and individual LED detection just in the players. But also you could just configure the template in advance. So you could just directly apply the templates when you want to configure them. So that is for templates. So that is all the function for Nova iCare. And next, I'm going to introduce our the system management configurations. So this includes other settings like the personal settings. So you could configure the username, sorry, not the username, just the name, and also the account security. And also you could configure the default system. So when you log in, maybe it will just go directly to Minox Standard or Add or iCare. And also here is just for binding the player to either Minox Standard, Minox Add, or iCare. So you just have to enter all this information in Vplex software or Nova LCT to do the binding. And here is for the enterprise info. Actually, it's just for identification. And also we have this organization settings. Actually, this is very useful because, so let's take a look at the work groups first. So actually, this is for isolating the data, and I can show you in the PowerPoint. So the first thing I want to introduce is a work group function. So actually, this is just for data isolation. So here we have, for example, we have two groups, and we could assign different users, different data, media files, and different terminals to one work group. And also we could assign another user, another data, and another screen to another work group. So that means the data will be isolated. So that means the user cannot see the content for another group. Also, they could not do any changes to the screen in another data group. So this is for data isolation. And if you want to configure this, you just have to go to work groups, and we could add many work groups. So here we have two, and we could just add another work groups. Yeah, so here we add another work groups. So its name is Q123, and we could assign different users or players into these work groups to do the data isolation. And another function is users and roles. So actually, it's for for example, if you're the manager and there are certain users, and you can make them having different access to your LD screen. So for example, you could have make the user one has access to upload the media files and make the playlist. And then you could assign another users and give them the access to check the media files and make the schedule. And also you can make another user have the access to check on the logs and control the terminals. So that means authority management. So this will maintain the security of your system. So this is for roles and for roles. So let's take a look at the roles. So actually here it already includes some default roles, but we could just add another one. And I'm sorry, these are Chinese. So we could just create another role and let this role give this role different access. So for example, we could make this role have the access for the player management and maybe solution management and maybe upload the media files and maybe make this user able to control the players. So we could add different roles. So we can just name it one. So here we have one role, and the next step is we just have to create another sub account. So that is for users. So we can just create, and this is just for the sub accounts, and he just have to log in using this username and the password. And also we could assign this user to one work group. So for example, we assign the user to this, and we could also assign this user with a certain role. So that means this user can only have the access that I just assigned to this user. So we could also configure the password for this account. So he just has to go to the login page and log in with this sub account. And then he could see the terminals there. So that is for the roles and users. And also, there are some other system settings. So you could enable different applications. So we could disable Minox standard. So that means when you click here, you won't see Minox standard. And also we could disable Minox add and Nova iCare. So this is for application configuration. Also, we have this custom domain name. So if you don't want to use Minox, you don't want to see the logo and you want to change the name, you could just go to custom domain name and just upload your own enterprise logos here. And here it will be replaced by your own logo. And also we could also change the domain name and also the system name from Minox to others. I mean, this is just for customization. So this is for system settings. And also we could check the login logs. So we could see this account we could see the login information. So this account using this IP address and login under this time. So this is for login logs. And user manual, you just have to click here and user manual. Then you can check the help document. But also, if you meet any questions, you could just ask our technical team for any help. So this is the end of my introduction of our cloud-based platform. And next, we're going to the Q&A session to answer some questions.
Okay, let's go to the Q&A part. The first question, I'm using Sony MCX500 video switcher. This mixer video output is 1080i or 1080p. V8 not support 1080p Sony, but Sony MCX500, but V8 is supported. My question is, why not supported by V8 4S?
Actually, it's supported. So maybe you could check the firmware version, but I'm sure it's supported. So later I can give you more information.
Or you can check the device of MCX500. We are sure that our V8 4S can support this resolution. Okay. Okay. Second question: can we Android devices to this Minox? Actually, I already explained just now. As my explanation, our Minox is a web-paid software. So if you're using a smartphone and then you can open the website of Minox, then you can run the system. Okay, let's come to the next question. May I set also times in the player section or online cycles? What if I had a static image and wanted to show 5 minutes and then to next content? I think Marcus can show us in the Minox platform.
Actually, you could just configure the time in the Minox ad. So when you're making the solutions, you just have to make sure the content only lasts 5 minutes. So if you just click solutions, so here we could configure the time of it, and also we could configure the repeat or don't repeat. So if you want this content to be played only 5 minutes, then you could configure maybe from 0 a.m. to 0:05. So yeah, you could configure the time of it.
Okay, next question. Hi, we are using Linux. Actually, we operate 100 screens using Taurus TB4. All screen working fine, but some Taurus working but showing offline mode, but content running. What is the problem?
It could be complicated to do the troubleshooting, but you could try to update the contents to it and see if the image changes on your LD screen. And if it doesn't change, that means the connection is just not stable. So you could check the internet connection on your Taurus media player. And but if the content is updated, then you could contact us and we could see what's the problem.
Okay. One more suggestions for this kind of problem. You can also update the firmware of TB4, or you can restart. You can restart the TB4. Okay, you can try. If you still meet the problem, you can message to us. Okay, we will leave our WhatsApp number or which ID here. You can message to us for the troubleshooting. Next question. How can we add custom domain?
To add the custom domain, we could just get back to Minox, and we just have to go to System Management, and here we could custom the domain, like custom the domain name here, and like you could enter the domain and the system name and the copyright. So yeah, you could just custom the domain here.
Hello everyone. Now still have 8 minutes left. So if you guys have any question, just leave a message to us, okay? We will reply all your questions here as possible as we can. Let's go to next question. Any video processor with cloud facility?
If you're using, for example, VX4S or VX6S, then as I said, you could just bind your device to NovaStar. So actually, it's not for binding your the video processor. It's just for binding your computer to iCare, and then it will just read the monitoring information or update the content on Minox or on NovaStar. So if you want to do the binding, you could just go to cloud monitoring, and here you could just bind binder with the processors to NovaStar. And if you want to send the content using Minox, and you just have to use our web player, and that is another software. So you could just go to here and download the web player software. So you could just download the PC players here, and actually it works just similar to our Nova Studio or WePlex software Synchronous mode. So the content can be sent through the internet, and the content will just show here on the top right, top left of your desktop. And if you're using Synchronous system, because the content is going to be projected to the LED screen. So in this way, you can just update the content if you're using Synchronous players.
Okay, one more thing. Actually, for the Minox, no matter you are using the synchronous system like MSC 300, M-Control 600, or the Tortoise player, you can use our Minox platform. Let's go for next question. Can also play URLs or live stream via cloud? Yes, we can. Marcus, can you show us?
We could play URLs or live stream using the cloud platform. I can show you. So we could add a streaming media and HTML. I mean, that's a web page. So you could just just enter the address, and for the RSS, for the streaming media, you just have to enter the address here. But I want to explain that actually for certain web pages, it won't be showing correctly because it will just show on the top left of the web page. So actually, if you want to show a certain web page, it's better that you design your own web page, and then you could change its size for it to fit in for our media player. So it's better if you could design your own web page. And for the streaming media, only some formats are supported. So I suggest that you could just enter the address here and try it, because not every format that we could support.
Hello, the next question. Need to give internet to processor via Ethernet.
I want to clarify one thing, that when you try to when you use a video processor, I mean the synchronous system, and you want to send the content by using Minox, actually the content is just sent directly to the desktop. It's not being sent to the processor. The content will just show up on the desktop. So actually, it's your computer that is binding to the Minox platform. And because of if you use synchronous system, the content will just be projected to the LED screen. So the LED screen will just show the content on the top left section here. So you don't have to give the processor the internet access, but you have to make sure the controlling computer has the internet access. Then you can update the content to this controlling computer, or you can monitoring the screen running status by using the internet. So yeah, this is what I want to introduce. And for the YouTube stream, I introduced it yesterday. It's not supported right now. So actually later on we could find some solutions, but currently it's not supported.
Okay, anyone else? You have any more questions? Just 2 minutes left. 还有吗？这位说话了。Yeah. Okay, if you don't have any questions, now I will share the schedule of next training session. Okay, one more question. Can we get the previous play advertisement details?
For this question, you could just check the play logs, and it's just in the. We can just get back to Minox and check the play logs. So here you can see which media files is being played under the time. So you can see the media name and the time that it starts to play and the end date. And also we could see the duration and times and total days. So yes, you can see the logs for the content.
Okay, so anyone have any more questions? So the next part. 有可能。你把桌面给我打开，桌面打开那个共享。这个能打开吗？Hello everyone, we will show you the schedule right now. 啊，二次开发。Well, we see one more question here. 1 minute. 来，你找一下。妈的，复制了吗？哦。Please explain secondary development.
So for the secondary development, we have SDK and API. And SDK is just for actually it's you could use it to create your own software to replace our Replex software. So that is SDK. And we also have the Minox API, when you could just send the content and maybe control the screen by using API. So for more information, I can just, you could leave the contact information and I will contact you later because that requires for you to sign certain documents for secondary development.
Okay, everyone. So today's course is finished. And we will, here's the schedule for next course. We will give the next course on 4th June. And the time duration is same as before. We'll start from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock China time. Okay, 11:30 to 12:30 India time, and you can check your time zone accordingly. Okay, next course we'll give the session on advanced solution for fixed LED installations. Mr. Zachary will give this course. Okay, welcome to join our next course. Okay, everyone, thanks for joining us. Thanks everyone. Thanks for joining us. Now we can close the meeting. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.